Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I want to talk to you about an amazing conversation I had with Peak Jarvie and Crypto Llama, and we talk about the new WAKA partnership with Splinterlands and the amazing new summoner WAKA SPIRITBLADE. We talk about our views on how powerful this will be, how will it be used, will it be worth buying, who is it going to be useful for, and what would be a fair price to pay for this amazing new summoner. It's a great conversation. I really appreciate Jarvie making the time, and also Llama. Appreciate you guys. Stick around. Make sure you check out both of their channels, Crypto Llama and Peak Jarvie on YouTube, and you're going to get lots of amazing quality content over there also. Guys, thank you so much for your time and attention, and let's get into it.
So onto it. Let's go. Let's talk about
WAKA name.
Town hall yesterday.
What's the name of the summoner?
WAKA SPIRITBLADE.
WAKA SPIRITBLADE.
So
Crazy.
announced for those who
Crazy
haven't heard,
looking.
he was announced yesterday in the town hall. Yesterday was Wednesday, but we did a town hall on Wednesday, a little bit different, and they announced that there's a new partnership with a rapper that I've never heard of, but WAKA, and he's got a custom summoner that's going to be applicable to the Death Splinter that is called WAKA SPIRITBLADE, and he's on my screen with the poison, applying poison to all of your attack, which, first of all, the card art looks amazing, and second of all, I think the ability is going to be really quite powerful, I would argue. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, Jarvie, and you too, Llama.
Yeah, let's go, Jarvie. Let's hear your thoughts.
Oh. Well, my initial thought is, because I'm like, wow, 3 mana and you get poison. That seems pretty awesome. Playing down in silver leagues, I'm like, this would do some main damage. But the thing is, there's a way to think about this a little bit differently. They are only selling max level cards. That means you have to buy a max level card just to get this poison.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get the ability to use the poison.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, some of the summoners, you have one BCX and you get that ability at Novice League, right? At level 1. Like you were just talking about the Mushroom Seer, you get silence, silence magic, even at level 1, and you get so why bother leveling it up, because you get that cool ability right away, and you get the 2 magic right away. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure you get those right away.
He's just that you get the 2 magic right away. He's a Death Splinter though, remember. WAKA is going to be death specific.
Yeah.
So question here, and just looking at your screen there, Dwayne, poison. Okay, so we understand there's only going to be 1,000 copies of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be extremely expensive, and I believe you need a combination of vouchers and SPS to purchase him.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's going to work.
Yes.
I'm just looking at your screen now. Wouldn't it be almost better to create a team based around poison?
I think so.
Than actually particularly purchasing him.
Well,
you could literally buy. You could probably max out 20, 30 cards.
Yeah.
With the poison ability, so that every single card that you're using has poison anyway.
That's a good.
And then have a summoner which gives you something in addition to that.
It's a great point, but I think you looking. I was going to say that these are the Death Splinter cards that are available that have poison in the game, and as you can see, the Giant Scorpion
high levels
at various levels. Yeah, level 10. That's
yeah.
Diamond. This is gold. This is silver. This is gold, I think, or diamond. And so, but then also it's like this is going to attack the first position, rear position, first position. So, if you were to try and if you were to buy these cards, and some of them might be very expensive in and of themselves, like the Skeleton Assassin or the Haunted Spider, I think you would find that this would be quite expensive, and it's only going to focus fire the first and the last position, as opposed to if you had WAKA you're going to be able to play one sniper, one attack, one main tank that attacks the first position, one sniper that attacks the first snipe position, an opportunity, and a sneak. So you could contrive a team that perhaps drops 4 different poisons on turn 1 against your enemy, and I think that's going to be a recipe for victory most times.
Yeah, that's true. But I think as well, though. I mean, why are we closing it off to death, though? Like, why couldn't we just get a
That's
dragon
true.
summoner and then get cards in dragon or poison in
Because
dragon, and
MC
then in
Hammer has to have his card in the white team.
And
But just a thought, if
yeah.
if you're we're talking about these crazy numbers before we started recording this session, and you were mentioning that there's a possibility of it being tens of thousands of dollars or something like that, because there's only 1,000 copies, and that makes sense because there's limited supply. So in that case, you're spending this amount of money. You could literally max out a diamond deck for that, and get poison in every single different card, or every single card, max out poison on every single card. But then you'll also have the benefit of having a summoner which has some more utility than just poison. So you get poison on all your cards that you're playing, and then a summoner which does something better than just poison.
it's a fair point, for sure.
1,000 copies is actually quite a few if you're talking about a legendary summoner. When you compare it to the beta legendary summoners, there's fewer than that.
Is that right?
I looked this morning. I was curious about it.
So I'm going to go to beta. No, hang on. Go to gameplay cards. Beta. And then we go to summoners. Where's the summoners? Summoners. So,
you're asking about a site I don't use, so I don't.
And I'm looking at a legendary. Can I access this sort of information also on? Maybe I got you to show me that if that's possible on Peak Monsters. But I know it's here.
This is fine. I'm learning something.
That's a gold card though, and that's 940 circulating.
Regular foil price.
So there was 5,510 printed, but there's
circulating 940.
So that's way more, though. This is gold, and it's a legendary, and it's an old beta. That's 5,000 is way more than 40 that'll be available for the WAKA, right? There's 40 gold foils of this.
There's only 1,000. There's 940 of those cards circulating. This will have 960.
Okay.
No, not gold foil though, because you've clicked on gold foil in that other window, haven't you?
Yeah, but I'm trying to compare there's 40 gold foils of WAKA, right? And we compare
that.
I'm
talking about gold foil, sorry.
And then gold foil of this
regular foil, it says 940.
Yeah, no, gold foil's on the right hand side there, so you've got 65.
So
65 versus 40, which means less gold foil. On the left hand side, card circulating says 940.
Okay, so we can estimate then off this, we can estimate that it'll probably be a shade over $5,000.
It doesn't tell you total cards. Total cards printed is 5,500. How many total BCX?
But that's a both though, right?
How many total BCX of WAKA?
We'd have
11,000, right?
We'd have to do the math, wouldn't we? Because it'd be 11,000. Is it? Okay.
11 times 960, so a little less than 11,000.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. Because the WAKA would be, so there's 960 times 11, and then there would be 40 times 4, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see your point. So yeah, so this would be, so to your point, there's going to be maybe roughly double the number of BCX available for WAKA. Is that correct, do you think?
Yeah, I mean...
Roughly?
There's 1,000 cards. Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be, but then again, I don't think, so, I mean, this is all just hearsay.
It really comes down to how good of a card it is to play with, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going off that then so the one BCX of Selenia Sky was, can you go back to the card tab? The Splinter card?
One BCX
is 4. Yeah, so it's 4,850, right? So if there's double the amount of supply, then presumably we can look around perhaps the $2,500 mark, right?
I was
somewhere
thinking
around there.
I was thinking
If it's gold foil.
Yeah. I was looking at it. I did a video this morning, guys. You should check it out. Probably already have if you're watching this video. But I was looking at summoners, and I was trying to do a bargain hunt video and analyzing like what's on the market right now with my favorite website, Peak Monsters, and which is true, by the way. I'm not just blowing smoke, but if you look at I did the math on like a General Sloan, which is the most overlooked or the cheapest rare summoner. And then I did it on the most expensive rare summoners, and I think you're in the 5,000 to 800 or 1,000 is very easy for these rare level summoners, and like especially when you start looking at some of the older ones that are very very rare, like Quid Yuff. I was looking at the gold foils in particular, but if we look at there's 173 Quid Yuffs on the market, if 2 people came on looking for a max level copy, the price would be astronomically higher. And so I think it's not really fair to come on and say, oh, look at General Sloan, for instance, or even for that matter, look at Quid and say, 5 BCX times 115 it's less than $600. I don't think that's a fair comparison. So I don't think we're anywhere near $500 for WAKA for the regular foil. I suspect it's at least 1,000. If they sell it for 1,000, I'd buy one. And I think it probably sells for more than that on Peak Monsters once it's available. Because, when we look at, not only do I think it's better than, I think it's better than most of these summoners, but also I think the promo factor makes it collectible in a way. And you can just look at cards like the Halfling Alchemist or Dr. Blight and see how distinct they are. Dr. Blight's price point is, you look at $3, $4 per these are all legendaries, and Dr. Blight's way down here.
You can hit the bulk thing to see how much it costs at max.
Bulk?
On one of these. Yeah, do a summoner and might as well show people that feature.
Okay, yeah, let's look at the summoners quickly. So if I grab General Sloan and I wanted 115 copies, you go bulk buy and you grab 115. And just to say, like, this is a rare summoner. This is a rare summoner for 342. But to my point, this is me buying
the cheapest.
This is the cheapest, first of all, but it's me buying 115 copies out of 402 available. And so if I did that, the price is now immediately higher for the next person. And so I don't believe that this price point is scalable. And I think so. If Splinterlands come out and said $1,000 for WAKA, and we're selling you 480 copies on Hive, I think that's a very reasonable price considering it's scalable across 480 accounts. And so to me, I think this is going to be 1,000 from Splinterlands, and this is probably going to be 2,000 from Splinterlands. And I think either of those price points would be a deal. If it's more, I might still consider it. If it's less, I'll buy as many as they'll let me. And do you think that? And to that, I want to ask you a question that we answered before.
I think gold foil is more than that, though. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Go back to Peak Monsters. I'll show you a fun way to look at it. If you go to compare view.
Okay, under summoners.
And then click on that and choose gold foil versus regular, which is down at the bottom.
Okay.
So the cheapest differentiation is, Neb Seni is such a weird card. Let's look at Lear is 6 times difference. That is a way different sort of thing. 6 times. That means gold foil costs 6 times more than the regular.
Gotcha.
But even if they put something like crazy, like 5 times, and you're saying that the regular is 1,000, then the gold is going to be 5,000.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense, and I would still
pay it. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
that's a great way to look at it. I've actually never used that feature as well. Always learning.
I've been looking at it a lot in order to find good values on gold cards. If you do the Chaos, now click on Chaos up above, the Chaos filter. You'll see that maybe that gold foil obsidian is a pretty darn good deal.
Yeah, right. Okay. That's
so it's
cool.
on one side, the top ones may mean that the regular price is way too high or the gold price is way too low.
Yeah.
If you look at the bottom of the list of gold Sloans, either the regular price is way too low or the gold price is way too high. You know, like,
Right, okay, and that makes a lot of sense because, as Dwayne was just saying, that is, I mean, that's too cheap, right? It should be a lot higher so that it's more congruent with the gold fall price.
Mm-hmm.
they're all pretty similar to each other, 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, and then you got, you know, 9.
That would be.
You look at some other stuff, it gets crazier, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say, chuck it over to monsters. That'll be interesting to see.
So in some of these, they're getting over 20, 25, 40. So with the gem,
40.
with the gem meteor, the gold foil is way more highly prized than the. So that might mean that I don't love the gem meteor, but if somebody is interested, it might mean something that you would go have a look at the regular foil and see if that regular foil is a good investment. It might be.
Do we know the collection power of these maxed out? I don't think that because they're promo cards. I don't think that they're going to have the same collection power as the rest of Chaos Legion, right?
It's probably
but they will.
It'll be akin to Dr. Blake because it's legendary and it's Chaos Legion.
Okay. I wonder if they make some kind of just because it is a promo and it's because of from an influencer or something like that. If they make it have more collection power.
Yeah, I mean, they'll think about it and then they'll say it makes things complicated on our programming side and all this and that. And so
yeah, probably 500 per.
Don't worry about it.
But this is like.
Oh no, it's going to be look at when you have a max copy, it goes up because of the 5% bonus. So it's going to be 6,400 and.
No, it's
no, that's a different. That's not the right thing.
5775 is the CP on that.
Okay, there. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that makes sense. Instead of 5,500, it's 5,775.
Yeah. So I think one last thing I wanted to talk about, and you mentioned it before we started recording, Jarvie, so maybe I'll throw it to you to talk on it. I was saying before we started recording that if it is 1,000 and let's say 3,000 is what I was kind of guessing before the video started for the regular and gold, I might buy more than one of them. And you had a comment on that. I wonder, do you think they're going to let us do that? Are we going to be able to come in and buy? Because there's only 20 gold foils.
I think you're going to be able to buy a card. This is my guess, complete guess, because there are people. If you look at the Peak Monsters has a list of rich holders. There's some people that have 20,000 vouchers. So it's like, really, are they going to be able to buy every copy of this freaking card themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are people going to be happy about that? Vouchers is the third column over, just so you know.
Okay.
This is like 1,000 IQ plays because I remember when the pre-sale, the initial Chaos Legion pre-sale, was just about to end, and Aggroed was on. They were running it live, so they could gauge how many packs and whatever were being sold. And Aggroed was saying on there, like, this guy is just all this value is just sitting there. He's not using any of his vouchers to purchase, and that they had like a ton.
So I think they're going to make you stake SPS. I think they're going to say, "Oh, it's only 20,000 to stake to be able to buy one of these cards."
I hope so.
And then 500 vouchers.
Me too.
And then, but all those people are going to have to like, well, I've got a lot of vouchers. I only got this, SPS stake to this, so it's going to help SPS go up a little bit. Or they have a bunch of stake and they're going to have to start powering down soon in order to be able to buy a few copies of it. So hopefully that allows, a few people to buy, grab at least one.
Yeah. Yeah, if they charge 500, if I have to surrender 500 vouchers and let's say $1,000 worth of SPS for a regular, I probably would do that. And that's and for gold, if I could get a gold for like 500 vouchers and let's say $3,000 worth of SPS, I probably would do that too. So I don't know if they'll let me get both but I'm going to analyze it when we know the exact cost, and I'm very interested.
But Okay, so can we go back to the Peak Monsters website again there on your screen, Dwayne, and go to
Always, of course.
and go to the rich list
You
of
can go there as
SPS.
much as you want.
Rich list of SPS, right? Okay, so your rank 1030. There's only 1,000 cards, right? So wouldn't it be best, or wouldn't it be prudent for them to go, okay, well, let's just reward the top 1,000 SPS holders so that they can get this card?
I think they're going to make it, they want the market to go a little wild though. You know what I mean? They're not going to just want to, they're not going to, I don't think they're going to just hand them out. If they just hand them out, that'd be crazy. Because
No, I don't mean that. I mean to the amount of staked SPS that you have. So you pick the top 1,000 staked SPS accounts, and then, because otherwise there's going to be some kind of inequality here, and people are going to be able to purchase too many, or there's just not going to be any I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how they manage it, because presumably it's going to have to be you're going to have a certain amount of staked SPS, like Jarvie was saying, but then you jump out of the top 1,000 top 1,000 SPS stakers, and then is it not unfair for the top 1,000 if they don't get a card?
Only
if
they don't want it.
Will they go back to the old? They go back to the old raffle system of lands, and they were like, "Well, if you want it, then put down the 500 vouchers, and
we'll spin the wheel."
It will spin the wheel, and those with more SPS staked have a higher probability of getting it.
So I have 700 and some vouchers on this account, and I can see that my rank on the voucher list is 239 of all participants, of all voucher holders.
Oh wow!
Which is to say that that gives you some idea of how many vouchers they might be willing to ask for, because if they ask for 500 vouchers, I'm going to tell you, I figured that would make you would have to be amongst, say, the top 1,000 voucher holders at this point. And sure, people could go out and buy more vouchers, but I kind of think 500 is probably might be a touch high on where they're going to land for that. I think maybe they might say something like 250 or 400 or something, just because
Chatter said.
Oh, did he?
Chatter actually said, Chatter said in the AMA this morning, in the morning for me, he said a couple of hundred vouchers.
Awesome. So 200, you think? Is that what that means?
Well, yeah, I'd say so. A couple? Yeah, a couple is two.
Usually.
A few is three.
Yeah.
So, I would say maybe 200 vouchers. But that leads me to believe that you're going to require more SPS staked.
I think it's fair to say
only 200 vouchers.
I have 40,000 SPS, and your guys' point, I think you're right, Jarvie. They're going to have these qualifiers. You need X amount of this and X amount of that. And then I think you're right, Llama, that, if I have 42,000 or 41,000 SPS and I'm just shy of the top 1,000, I think you need to imagine that you probably need at least 25,000 SPS to be in the consideration, I would imagine. Now, that could be wrong. I don't want to send people FOMOing out.
Or they're just going to charge SPS.
Yeah.
Charge them.
Yeah, that could be so. But I would think if they charge exclusively SPS, I bet they still do some sort of stake. Don't you think? I mean, the way they've handled SPS and the way I bet there's some level of stake required. And if so, I got to imagine that threshold is at least 10,000 SPS staked.
Yeah, it would have to be. I think it would be more than 10,000. I would say probably more so around the 20 to 25. But yeah, I don't know.
I would be. They're splitting the money with WAKA. I'm guessing that is the deal.
Probably.
Yeah, or just I'd be also inclined to. I mean, it's such a great time for, depending on when this actually comes to fruition and when we can purchase this card. But it's such a great time for whoever's getting that SPS, because it will go up. I believe it's going to go up in value again. So if I would suggest, actually not financial advice, but myself, if I was purchasing this card and it required SPS and large amounts of SPS, I'd be refilling that SPS immediately.
Look at this volume.
Whatever I had to use.
The last 7 days, the volume just bump.
Yeah, and we've seen that in the increase in price as well. Yeah,
Okay, guys,
it's looking quite tasty.
I'm loving this, but I really need to get going.
Yep, me too. It's nearly 2 a.m. here, so yeah, thanks so much, guys, for jumping on. Awesome hanging out as usual. I love talking about this kind of stuff as well that we got towards the end. But thanks for going through all these the latest updates that you've got in Peak Monsters. I'm so excited for Peak Monsters, and I'm really looking forward to getting down and dirty with all these new changes that you've made, Jarvie. So yeah, appreciate you both, and it's been awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jarvie.
Good
Really
day,
appreciate it,
everyone.
my dude. Thank you for making the time. I know you're a busy man, and this website's amazing. It's my favorite, and I'm not just blowing smoke. So I appreciate it, and you keep doing what you're doing, and I'm going to keep telling people about it.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, boys. Well, thank you very much again.